Hello and welcome to another episode of the Unsettling podcast. Today we have a truly inspiring guest with us, Shweta Ektare. Shweta is a former chartered accountant who has seamlessly transformed herself into a visual artist. With a palette of colors and a canvas of dreams, she creates bespoke paintings that speak to the soul. Join me as we uncover the spellbinding story of her transition from the world of finance to the realm of exquisite artistry. Hi, Shweta. Welcome to the Unsettling podcast.
Hi, Amrita. Thank you so much for having me.
I am really excited about this. And since I was interviewing an artist, I thought I'll dress up like a color palette.
You're looking so beautiful.
Thank you. So are you.
So-
So, Shweta, I want to ask you, what drew you to become a chartered accountant? Who studies so much?
That's a good question. So in 10th class, when me, my brother, my family, we were discussing about what next. Because that's the time you decide कि PCM लेना है या फिर commerce लेना है या bio लेना है and all those things. And I was a studious kid. So whoever is a studious kid, they are like IIT करना है, engineering करना है and all that. And my brother was already an engineer. So he brought this thing कि what if we find something completely different? Okay. And then we actually started talking about, and it was happening during my 10th class exams. Okay. After the exams, we used to come and sit and talk about these things. Me, my brother, my sister, cousin sister. And then we kind of figured that if we take commerce, CA is also a good option. And I was always into, like, after 9th, 10th, I was always into that कि पढ़ाई तो बहुत करनी है अपने को. So I was very excited that it is a good course and I'll get to study a lot. I'm sounding like a nerd, but yeah, at that time I was. I can't deny that. So yeah, it was very exciting for me to just take something which nobody has ever done and which has very good value. And we had a distant relative who was a CA. Then we went to him. We asked few questions that how it works and is it a good option, should I go for it or not. And after talking to him, we kind of felt that it is a good choice to make, so we went ahead with it.
Oh, nice. But then how did you transition from that to becoming a visual artist? What was the turning point in your head?
Okay, so as a kid, like especially Indian kid who is into the study wala system, academic system, nobody encourages you to become an artist. Nobody, in fact, knew real life artists who are making a career out of art. We used to just hear MF हुसैन या फिर एसएच रजा, इतने बड़े बड़े लोगों के नाम सुने होते थे. रियल लाइफ में तो किसी को देखा नहीं है कभी भी. So we had no example of anyone. So before, like, actually it happened, nobody in my family ever thought that I can become an artist, because that option, nobody knew that it was available.
Right.
So what happened that while doing CA, we had to give attempts. Okay, so May का attempt होता है, November का attempt होता है, exams May और November में होती है.
Okay.
So I had about 6 months to study, and I was very clear in my mind that I'm not going to study for 6 months. I'll be studying for about 3 months. So I had 3 months for spare. So I called up a friend and I told him that, see, I'm good at painting. I'm good at volunteering. So if anything comes up, let me know. I'll do it. And my articleship was already done. So you have to work under a CA. So that was already done. So I had time. So I told him, and coincidentally, he found a project, which was very interesting. He found a project and I got to work on a wall mural project.
Okay.
And during that time, when it actually happened, me and my family, we both kind of realized that this is a legit career option and I can actually pursue it. So yeah, we started thinking about it during that first wall mural project. After that, also, I participated in an exhibition before finishing CA. So even before finishing CA, I got into that zone that maybe I can divert my career like that. So that was a turning point. Yeah.
I mean, I totally relate to the being an artist and chilling thing. I recently went to Goa and we went to a museum. It's called Museum of Goa. I realized that the artist himself had started that museum. So he created pieces of art which were really beautiful. He started the museum. He's like, now I'm going to chill. People are going to come see my work, and then I'm just going to interact with them and live the rest of my life. And I'm like, oh my God, that is something I would love to do.
That's what I've been doing in my exhibitions. I worked for about 4 years consistently, four months for the exhibition
Mhm.
specifically, 3.5 months. And now, like it's been 2 weeks, it's already on, and I'm just talking to people, telling them about story of my artworks and all those things. So the interaction is also very fun part of it.
Oh, nice. Now that we are on the topic of the exhibition, would you like to talk about it? I know that there's an exhibition going on of your artwork. So can you tell
Yeah.
the listeners a little more about it?
All right, so I'm having a solo exhibition. This is my second solo exhibition and first in Bangalore. It's happening at UB City Mall Sublime Art Gallery.
Mhm.
And it is a month-long exhibition. It started on 8th September and it will go on till 8th of October. And I have painted around 48 pieces of artworks for the exhibition, and many of them already got sold. The paintings are available for viewing as well as purchasing. So if you are in town, if you are in Bangalore, do visit me. I would love to showcase my work to you.
Oh, that's so nice. Is it just you or are there other people as well?
No, it's a solo exhibition, so only my artworks are there.
Oh my God. Okay. So then if anyone is in Bangalore, I'm not anymore. So please go visit and see her work. And definitely she's going to tell you stories of 48
Yeah,
pieces.
yeah.
Okay. But why 48? Why that number? Did you have a particular number in mind?
I had 40 number in my mind,
Hmm.
but it then what I generally do is I keep a margin of failure always.
Okay.
So I thought that initially I thought that I'll paint around 50 pieces and
Hmm.
I'll keep margin of failure and maybe I'll select about 40.
Hmm.
And it turned out this is like very rare for me that I painted around 52 pieces and
Hmm.
I selected around 48 out of those to exhibition for the exhibition. Otherwise, generally for I also create calendars every
Hmm.
year. So I create 16 artworks, and out of 16, I get to select 12 artworks to showcase in the calendar. So
Right.
generally, that's the level of margin I keep. But
Hmm.
luckily, this time what happened is that loved most of the artworks which I
Hmm.
created, and I thought that 48 pieces were good enough to showcase.
Okay.
So that's how I came to that
Nice.
number. Yeah.
Is there a particular theme that you followed, or every artwork is inspired by something different?
So the cohesive theme and the exhibition name is
Mhm.
Vibrant Encounters. Most of the paintings are based on my travel experiences or some of the
Mhm.
other experiences of mine. Some of them are based on philosophies. Some of
Okay.
them are completely abstract.
Hmm.
But you will find more of floral pieces
Hmm.
and some experimental and some abstract pieces.
Okay. Do you have a particular process in mind when you paint? Do you have a playlist that runs in in the background? Do you have a specific space that you sit in? Is there a person that inspires you? What is your process?
So the process actually changes from project to project or artwork to
Hmm.
artwork. So
Okay.
for this exhibition, I had about three playlists, two
Okay.
podcasts, one running like audio book. So and I'm a person who does not paint one painting at a time. I paint
Okay.
around five, six paintings. So whenever I needed to switch from one painting to another, my playlist used to change, my podcast used to change. So that used to happen a lot. So the cohesive idea was similar,
Hmm.
but individual paintings have different background stories or different ideas to it. So
Right.
based on that, I used to like create a little bit of surrounding
Hmm.
for me to paint because it kind of helps to get you in the mood.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
हिंदी में बोलते माहौल बनाना, so I'm very
हाँ,
much into that.
पूरा माहौल सेट कर दिया आपने, बहुत बढ़िया. I also want to know, since you said that you paint 5 paintings at a time, does it ever happen that you start in one, you like with one idea and then you end up with a different painting altogether?
Yeah, it happens. It happens. So there is one video which I recently shared on my Insta and YouTube about one painting where I started thinking that I'll just create one floral
Mm-hmm.
in a yellow backdrop, one flower. And later on, when I was working on it, I felt कि नहीं यार, this painting is asking me to paint more flowers and to paint multiple types of flowers, multiple colors of flowers. And then when I painted, I felt that this painting was asking me to like do this. It has its own mind, and you have to agree to your art at times.
Mm-hmm.
And then I named the painting as Garden Medley because
Uh-huh.
medley is kind of a combination of songs in one harmony. So
Right.
I created multiple floral flowers in that painting, and I also created musical notes.
Oh.
You can see the variation in the grass area in the background
Mm-hmm.
as musical notes. So it later on started with something completely different, then it became completely different. So it happens.
Oh, nice. I randomly got this idea. I thought I'll ask you. So, coming back to the career change aspect of things, did you have any fear or doubt when you were making this career change?
I had a lot of questions
Mm-hmm.
because it was completely I did not know anybody who had done that before
Right.
me. So I had to dig really deep and find people who had done the same thing. And fear, I would say that I did not have fear because I was very naive. I was a kid and who just got passed out from college and just finished CA. So I was naive and I was like, कि I had confidence in my skills.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, कि कर लेंगे. We'll figure something out. कुछ ना कुछ तो कर लेंगे. So that I always had in my mind. Also, whenever I asked and whenever I got negative feedback, at that time I had this shell around me that I did not listen to those negative feedbacks a lot. I was like कि इनको नहीं पता है, मुझे भी नहीं पता पर इनको भी नहीं पता है because nobody else had done this.
Correct.
So so in that sense that worked out really well. So if I look at myself now and if I think that what if I was working at this age and this
Mm.
time, would I be able to make that decision? It would
Mm.
have been much difficult because now I know, now I have grown up, I have seen the reality of life. So and all those things, difficult things, so it would have been much difficult to make that decision rather than when I had made that decision. So that kind of audacity of a kid and that naiveness of a kid really helped me.
Okay, I'm glad that you started when you did and you found your
Yeah,
opportunity at a very young age.
yeah.
But do you feel that there were certain skills from your CA journey that helped you become successful as an artist?
Oh, definitely. I totally believe that the reason I'm here is because the reason I have gone through the whole journey of being a CA.
Mhm.
Because one thing it had taught me was that you need to fail at early stages of your life to become something. And I was very okay with failure. So as
Right.
a kid, when you're in school and you're uh, a person who is in like top 5 top 10 kids in school in academic wala thing, so it becomes really difficult when you actually fail in real life,
Hmm.
because it becomes difficult to grasp that fact कि यार we were doing so good when we were in a protective shell, and now we are out in the world and we are failing. So the failure and how to adjust with that failure, CA had taught me.
Hmm.
Being a CA had taught me. Also, it opened a lot of world point of view for me, a lot of
Hmm.
business point of view for me. A lot of I still struggle with it that I don't. It is difficult to keep your art aside and the business point of view aside,
Mhm.
because you are obviously attached to your artwork. The artworks are very personal to you, so it becomes very difficult.
Mhm.
But I feel that I have an edge. I've been able to do it because I know the other part also. I know the
Right.
business aspect also. So I
Mhm.
could see those things a little bit more clearly.
Mhm.
Then if I had done any art course, I would have had that sort of that thing कि नहीं art सबसे important art ही है उसके अलावा कुछ नहीं है. So I don't think that if like people are not accepting my artwork, I'm okay with it, because I think because of my experience from being a CA.
Oh my God, that was so deep, failing and learning how to fail, because I was in the same boat as you. Perfectionism, you were the top students, you are not allowed to do anything else, you're not allowed to fail. And the moment you come out and you start failing, accepting that is so difficult, definitely. And I'm glad that you understood a lot of business aspect of things, and you learned that your artwork is yours and it doesn't matter what other people think. But coming to the business aspect of things, now that you're an artist and also a businesswoman, does it ever happen to you that you have to keep your creative process aside for a particular client because they have an exact requirement? And what do you do in that case?
Sometimes it happens. But at that time, there are two questions which I ask myself: is that is the money worth the adjustment?
Okay.
That is one of the questions. And is my time worth of the adjustment? Sometimes money is worth that, but your time is not. At the same time, you could have painted something really creative. So I look at it, I try, I'm not saying that I always do, but I try to look at it from a very neutral point of view, and like look at pros and cons of it. That if I put this much of time and effort into this project, what will it cost me creatively?
Oh,
So that I keep in mind. But fortunately, I'll be honest, fortunately, I've got really, really good clients who are very open to ideas. So even if I'm getting a project where there is a boundary or restriction, I still try to come up with like 2-3 options for them. And most of the times, more often than not, they are fine with it. They like open up to ideas. So I've been very fortunate about this.
Oh, I'm glad that you are. And I like how you take this perspective where whether it's worth the time or the money. So that's a very nice way to look at things. So how has your creative process evolved since you first started versus now?
A lot. As I said that when I started out, I was when you're young, you're more into that spontaneous part of things. I'm still that, but now I've learned to navigate with art blocks a lot. So when you're creating so much, or you're not creating, if you have a break of 5-10 days like that, you get into a space where it's difficult to create art. You get into that art block. So earlier I used to get very frustrated when I used to get that art block, and I used to just be not okay with it. And I used to think that art should be created spontaneously, and there should not be like any restrictive process to it, because I'm very fond of abstract art, and abstract paintings are very intuitive and spontaneous. But now I have learned over the years that there are ways to navigate that art block. You just find where you are at the space. You have to like look at it from a neutral point of view again, and see if can you find any solution to it and apply it. Earlier I used to think that there is no solution, it will just pass with the time. But now I have understood that there are few things which I can do to navigate those things. So it has become more smooth, and I think it has become much more smoother, that even I know that I want to get into a spontaneous mode, then I know how to get into it, which was very in earlier times. Yeah.
Oh, so you found structure in the chaos.
Yeah. Perfectly said. Yeah.
So have you ever incorporated some unconventional materials in your artwork, or it's just paint?
No. So I have 2 paintings in my exhibition which are painted out of waste material, waste acrylic. So once acrylic color dries on the mixing palette, generally it becomes waste. People just throw it out. So what I've done is I peeled out that acrylic skin, it's dried color, and used it as a texture for my artworks, 2 of my artworks. And actually the video of the process got really viral on Instagram.
Oh.
months back. Yeah, I think it has around 1 lakh views,
Ooh,
which is pretty cool. Yeah.
nice. I will share that with my listeners so that they can see and follow your work for sure.
Definitely.
So how, since we already had this discussion, but I just wanted to reiterate it, how do you balance the practical aspects such as, income stability with the creative aspects of your work?
I think again, I look at it from the point of view. Sometimes what happens is that you are looking only at short-term process. So
Mhm,
there are few questions which I ask myself that the instability, is it short-term or is it going long-term? And
mhm.
in the short term, what are the resources I require? Is some project fulfilling those resources and those kind of things? So what I generally try to do is like ask myself a lot of questions
Mhm.
regarding why I'm feeling that instability. Is it really happening, or
Right.
it's just in my mind? Because that is also the case at times,
Right.
that it is just in your mind. There are times when I have called my friends and just talked about that this is not happening, that is not happening, and they have like told me to just pause, relax, and look at it. And they told me that you are doing much better than what you are thinking.
Yeah.
So sometimes that is also the case. So to navigate that, I think you have to ask yourself a lot of questions regarding um, what you are thinking, and
Mhm.
actually in terms of numbers too.
Lovely. I love your thought process. I love how self-aware you are about a lot of things. You know how to ask certain questions. You know how to, calm yourself down when you feel everything is chaotic around you. That is so helpful to run a business without feeling overwhelmed, which I think you're doing really, really well. I am really enjoying this conversation. I'm learning so much from you.
Thank you so much. It's not that, like, people do think that I'm very peaceful person. It's not like that. I'm very fortunate that I have very good people around me. So with them, when I talk, I kind of understand these things. I've been blessed with good people around me, I would say.
I am glad that they are your constant support, and please keep supporting her because she's creating beautiful art.
Thank you.
So, Shweta, in the beginning, we had this discussion where you said you had to delve deep to find people who were doing something similar to you.
Yeah.
So, who would you say inspired you to become an artist?
Not exactly to become an artist,
Hmm.
but over the years, I've found a lot of creative people who give me inspiration. So, to become the artist was my own thing, because
Right.
I kind of got to know that this is actually you can do it. Wala thing. But after that, once you are into that process, you kind of try to find out that who else is doing something similar, or who else is your creative inspiration. So I'm inspired a lot by music or by reading and all those things. So I love Neil Gaiman. His books are amazing. His talk is amazing. One of his college commencement speech, Art Matters.
Okay.
That is something which I go back to every time whenever I'm feeling a little low. So
Hmm.
you guys can watch it on. It's available on YouTube.
Okay.
Then other person is Elizabeth Gilbert.
Hmm.
Her talks on her TED talks, two TED talks. Those are also amazing.
Okay.
So and then I found a lot of visual artists
Mhm.
around the globe. Uh, One is Ellis Sheridan, then Laura Horn. These guys also have their podcasts.
Okay.
So I listen to them whenever I'm feeling a bit low, or I need a little bit charging up. So like that. So yeah, these are the people whom I go back to.
Nice. So, please share the links with me so that I can add it to
Sure.
the description. People can just go through it. Anyone who wants to get charged up, like Shweta does.
I have shared five talks, TED talks, on one of my LinkedIn posts, which are
Okay.
creative TED talks, or just uh, one was based on the poetry, one was based on the writing. So I'll
Mhm.
share that with you. I
Done.
think those are amazing resources.
Done. Done. I will share that link with the listeners and they can also go through this.
Sure.
So, do you have any advice for the listeners who are planning a major career change, especially someone who's following their passion like you are?
Um, Actually, it depends on where exactly they are. Do they have, I would say that if they are young, they have more risk appetite. So they should just jump into it and give time.
Right.
Because every career takes time. I'm in my 7th year of being an artist. So everything takes time. You have to be patient. And if you are somebody who is a little older, what I would suggest is um, again, do it with, if you are thinking of changing job and doing art, do it with the job, because both financial stability and emotional stability is required. You have to be emotionally okay to create good paintings. Okay, your mental health is actually more important than creating art, so be aware of that. Because I've been through a rough patch where I was not emotionally and mentally very okay with what I was doing. But like coming out of that, I realized that before that patch and after that patch, I was really doing very good artworks. So if you really want to do good work, you have to be emotionally stable.
Oh,
So yeah.
that is such a lovely advice, Shweta. Thank you so much. Even I'm going to take that with me. I resonated with it so much because
Yeah.
I also realize if you are not in a state of mind where you can create, you just reach a mental block, and no matter how many playlists, podcasts are running in the background, nothing is going to get you back on track. So
Yeah.
that's a beautiful message to leave the listeners with. So, Shweta, coming to the final question, this is something that I ask everyone, and I know you know it.
Okay.
So, Shweta, what does the phrase "being settled" mean to you, beta?
Uh, this is very difficult question because it has changed over the years. And right now, I think being settled means more into that sense that I know what are my like goals are and how I am working towards them,
Mhm.
and I'm emotionally at an okay space, and I know how to navigate those ups and downs emotionally. So that's my definition of being settled right now.
Oh, nice. So you are unsettled, but at the same time, you know how to navigate through the rough
Yeah,
waters.
because I really believe that you won't be settled all the time.
True.
Okay, there are times when you are really everything is perfect, but again, if you're not in good mental space, that won't help. If
Mhm.
you are in a good mental space, but other things are falling apart, that won't also help. So you need to like be able to navigate all these things. So nothing is going to be a linear line.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah, but that's what creates art, right? If everything is linear, then the art will also be boring. So
yeah, true,
such is life.
true, true.
So thank you so much, Shweta. This was a wonderful conversation. I had so much fun. I learned so much about art. I learned about your process, your thinking process, and why you made this career change. So if anyone out there wants to become an artist and wants to get in touch with her, I will be adding all the links in the description, and you can always send her a
Yeah.
message.
Thank you so much for having me, Amrita. It was such fun conversation. I had a great time. Thank you so much.
Yay. And also, she is in UB City for 1 more week,
2 more weeks
2 more weeks.
till
So
8th of October.
okay, she's there till 8th of October. So if anyone wants to pay her a visit, please do. She's there. She will explain 48 pieces of art to you. I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun. I'm missing out on that. So please, if anyone's going there, you can create reels, tag me, tag her. It'll be a lot of fun. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.